With the bombshell news that Suzuki will leave the MotoGP paddock at the end of the 2022 season, it has exploded the rider market for next season. The move takes two extremely competitive machines off the table and puts both 2020 champion Joan Mir and 2022 frontrunner Alex Rins into the open market just as things look to be settling down somewhat. It's a decision that will have repercussions not only for them, but for many others too. But before we begin, I would like to welcome you to Forward Motorsport, your pit stop for all things motorsport related. So last week, the newly appointed Suzuki team boss told the race that his future plans were to keep both of his current riders. A decision that has been taken away from him by the company's Japanese management and its decision to exit the series only 2 years after winning a championship with Mir. Mir's future is possibly more straightforward to predict at this point. It's no secret that he and Fabio Quartararo were among Honda's candidates to replace Paul Espargaro if he continued to struggle. And now that both of these things have happened and Mir is a free agent, there will be discussions between his manager and the Honda boss. But there's also a possibility of a deal with KTM, where Brad Binder is already signed till the end of 2024. But Miguel Oliveira, ironically recently he's said to be in discussions with Suzuki, he doesn't have one yet, something he's certainly in a hurry to work out. Rins, on the other hand, is likely to be searching for something more in the line with the inline-4 engine that now appears to best fit his smoother, more traditional riding style. That means Yamaha, where 2 slots open at Satellite Squad, which are theoretically possible. One of them, presently held by Andrea Dovizioso, is equipped with the 2022 spec factory machinery and is thought to be fairly well compensated, at least in comparison to Rins' Suzuki wage. The Italian has struggled with it this year, but that's partly due to taking a year off and readjusting to life after 8 years on Ducati's V4 engine, and Rins' transition would be much smoother. However, given Franco Morbidelli's continued underperformance alongside Fabio Quartararo, there may be potentially an option at full factory status. Although he is contracted to the Japanese factory until the end of the 2023 season, but in reality, a chance to work with veteran crew chief Ramon Focada, who guided him to second place in the 2020 Riders' Championship behind Mir. If Rins is unable to secure a position at Yamaha, another alternative for him is Aprilia. Maverick Vinales really couldn't have picked a worse time to speculate that he wants to move elsewhere, as he did just a few days back. It means you can't blame the Italian team for reaching out at least tentatively to Rins and Mir. The only thing that might throw a spanner into the works is 2 unknown factors that have to be accounted for. First, reigning world champion Fabio Quartararo still hasn't signed an extension with his current Monster Energy Yamaha team. And while time is more of an issue today than it was yesterday, it's possible that critical decisions will still be made based on the Frenchman's decision. However, because of the second factor, the fact that we don't yet know the makeup of the grid next year, a lot of individuals will be in a tense situation. So will a satellite team replace the outgoing Suzuki? That is absolutely an option, but it will necessitate negotiations not just from teams and other companies, but also from series promoters Dorna, who are preoccupied with dealing with a completely unanticipated crisis that will arrive like a tsunami. Paul Espargaro, the current Repsol Honda rider, was presumably able to breathe a little easier until lately, as Mir looked unlikely to stay at Suzuki. It's unclear where he'd be able to go if he was displaced. One possibility is that this year's podium finisher will join the LCR Honda squad, displacing both current rider Alex Marquez and Lenovo Ducati refugee Jack Miller, who is in negotiations with his previous team. Similarly, if one of the Suzuki twins joins Aprilia, it's unclear what choice Maverick Vinales is left. He is still adjusting to the RSGP and he has burnt a lot of bridges last year. As the riders already in the Premier class are rotated around, that means that there will be 2 fewer opportunities for a Moto2 rider to be given a chance. Of course, with Dorna pushing to find a replacement for Suzuki as soon as possible, it might not be the wisest move to sign a new contract right now in case something better comes along later. Similar to how Alex Marquez arrived at Repsol Honda in 2020 to replace Lorenzo following his surprise retirement. So what do you guys think? Who's going to be joining MotoGP and who's going to be kicked out? Could we see an Indian manufacturer take over? Well, let us know in the comments below.